Hello. So this is the layout of the web page that I have designed. I've uh, composed it of six. It is composed of six components. This is whole thing is one component. This table is another. Then this graph is third component. Then this pie chart. Then this fourth component. Then this horizontal bar graph. Then this histogram. These are the six components. Uh, so this is the app.js file. These are the six components. Details, which is the first component of the page, then the CSV table, which is the second component, then the taskbar chart, then pie chart, then bar chart, then histogram. So I've uploaded all the CSV files on my just on my GitHub repository. These are the links. So I've imported them, and then I've designed this uh, state state component of React. I've used it to initialize the data of these three uh, these three URLs, and then I've used use I've used use effect hook of React to load the data. So I've first loaded the task data, first this table data, then I've loaded budget data, uh, this this data, and then I've loaded pending data, pending this file, and then one by one I've called all of the components of the JSX I've created. So first of all, details. So this is the details file, details.js. Uh, so I have basically created 8 labels for each for each label. So this is first label, second label, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, and I have assigned them classes and corresponding. I have added CSS for the components. This is the simple first component. Then the second one is CSV table. So I have created this CSV table. I have imported the data that I have passed on here, and then I have first added headers to the table. This is the headers, and then I have loaded the data. So if the data is till the last second row, this row till this row, then simply import the data. If it is of the last row, since we have to use different uh, CSS to that different styling, so I have given different class name to it. So this and finally printing, and then priority I have set the priority as it was mentioned, and so this star is displayed as priority, and the corresponding CSS file is there for this CSV table. Then the third component is task bar chart. So now all the charts I have created all the four charts are four JS files. One is of axis, two are of axis, one is of axis left or axis top or bottom depending on the chart, and then one are the marks. Marks are these horizontal or vertical, these horizontal or vertical lines, and the task bar and the main file, which calls all the components, all the JS files. So first of all, from taskbar chart, I have defined the width and height of the container, width and height of this container. Then I have defined some margins to make it visible. These are the margins inside the container. And then I have given inner height and inner width. Uh, this is the inner height, and this is the inner width. And then I have stored y value in the form of y.tasks. These are the tasks. So these are the y values, and x values are the days. Actually, I was having problems while parsing the date. I needed some more time to parse the date format, learn to how to parse it, so I use days as the x-axis, and then I called the taskbar chart, and I imported the data from this in the form. I have used variable data to input and now imported the data. Then I have by scale. Then I have defined the bandwidth, its range and domain. So these are on y-axis and these are on x-axis. So these are on y-axis. I have given them by scale variable by scale, and then I have used scale band function of D3. I imported it, uh, and I have domain is the y values of data our data. So y value is I have defined here as t dot task. So t dot task will be mapped here, and the range is 0 to inner height. So the data will be here displayed from 0 to this inner height, going from up to down. And then I have given range is, and then padding. Padding is the difference between these bars, two consecutive marks. And then I've defined x scale. X scale I've used scale linear to display for the height of the data, height of the marks, and then the domain will be 0 to maximum of data and x value. That means uh, maximum of the d dot days, maximum days will be the last level, and then the range will be displayed will be from 0 to inner width. Then I have given it id bar1 because I applied some css also here, so bar1. And then I have transformed it from margin left to margin top, so the transformation is from here. All the values are measured from this point. And then I have called axis bottom, which will create, basically axis bottom will create this one, this axis, horizontal axis. Axis left will create this axis, and then marks, finally marks. So in between that there is the text day is, which is displayed here, this days, and then there are marks. Marks are these horizontal labels, horizontal paragraphs. So now axis left. This is the axis left, and this contains biscale inner width and inner height as the variables. Uh, and then I have mapped the tick values to the bias axis. I've used dot map function for that, and then I have drawn a line. These lines, to draw these lines, these vertical lines, I've used this line here, this function. Then this text displays the text, these text, this text, these labels, and then tick value according to the tick value. And then I have exported it and imported it in the taskbar chart. Then I have called axis top. Then axis top has function axis bottom, uh, and I have exported it. So axis bottom. Then I have ticks. So here we can specify the ticks. Xscale dot ticks will specify how many ticks we want. So suppose if I give type here 8, so there will be 8 ticks. There are right now 9 ticks. 9 ticks are the labels values, and then there I have transformed the function, and the transform is from x scale tick value. So from here to now here it will go here. Okay, so now this line function displays the lines, uh, these lines. This is axis top, so axis top will display this line, this, and then finally this axis, this text this text tag displays these tick values, and These are some formattings that are applied to the tick value. Then then, then there is this marks file which takes some x scale, y scale, x value, value, and data as the variables, as the parameters, basically parameters. And then I've written this data.map. So basically I have given this colors, defined here colors blue, green, and orange, and I have this with the help of tag. I have displayed these rectangle, created these rectangles, and each rectangle is assigned a key value, and the x and y coordinates are with the help of uh, like this is the what is the x starting point and what is the ending y starting point, and this is the height and width of the tag, and fill is the color formatting. So uh, for first two we have blues, for remaining we have green, and for last three we have orange. So if I is less than 2, I starts from 0. So if I is less than 2, I is the index of the data. So which I have given as parameter here. So then if I is less than 2, then the first color blue will be displayed. If I is less than greater than 8, that means I is 8, 9 or 9, 10 or 11. There are 12 rows, so I will go from 12. So if there are if I is from if I is 9, 10 or 11, then orange color will be displayed, otherwise green color will be displayed. Uh, so this is the third third component. Now the fourth component, by pie chart. So pie chart contains a single file pie chart pie chart.js. So this is CSV URL. I have imported here and I have read the data. Uh, this with the use of use effect hook, I have read the data, and I have defined width and height of the container. Center x and center y are the center of coordinates of the this pie chart. This circle, basically a circle. Pie chart is basically a circle, and these are the colors: color green, yellow, red, yellow, light green. These are the colors of this pie chart. Will be filled. And then I have I have imported RC, arc and pie arc will be required for this pie chart, and then I have initialized a pie arc constant which is created from which is an instance of arc, and as inner radius as 0 and outer radius as this inner center y minus offset, some offset value, because we don't want our circle pie chart's radius to go till the width of the container, height of the container till here touch. We want some gap, so removing, so I have subtracted some offset value, and then I created the class pie chart which reads the value after the value of the data is initialized, and I have then this uh, uh, this uh, uh, extracts d dot percentage from the data, and calculates the uh, start angle and end angle. Basically pi dot value uh, automatically calculates the start angle and end angle of each component of each percentage. So this is the and then for simplicity purposes I have console.log to check out what was happening, and then I have defined the SVG width and height specified here. This is the SVG scalable vector graphics, and then there is uh, then some text is applied, and text formatting, and I have written overall status to display the overall status. Then transform is from center x and center y. Center x and center y. Center y is somewhat below this width by 2 of the containers, some pixels below. And then color pie, I have called this color pie function instance and mapped the values. And then this pi arc d will display the values. So for the formatting, I have applied the CSS corresponding CSS file. This is the CSS file, like this margin, specifying margin, and the color of the uh, border, defining the border. Then the fourth component is budget. Fifth component is this budget task, budget chart, which is bar 2. I have defined it in bar 2, and same files. These are the same files as that, and I have not given CSS file because automatically the CSS files are included from here. Suppose I have given here the bar, so these are included here also when I have given this here. I have given it the same ID. So the same formatting, basically the formatting was of this bar, this graph, this bar chart, and the formatting was border, and the same border is applied here, and the same the graph is also the same except the fact that the axis was displayed here while the x-axis is displayed at the bottom here. X, x, except that everything is same. Now the final this chart, this histogram, this is the vertical bar chart, and this file is here. So this also contains same components, except the fact that marks have been uh, height. So the marks width has been in x-axis and height has been in y-axis. So and corresponding, it has to change its x value. Sorry, not x value. Uh, X scale and Y scale. So this time X scale has scale band because the bandwidth is this. So the X scale is bandwidth and Y scale is scale linear. This. Apart from that, everything is same.